It's been 4 years and I have done nothing but fascial maneuvers and move in nature. And my personal practice has been the dominant part of my transformation. After 35 years and millions of dollars going to practitioners, becoming one, the answer was really inside of me. And I want to take you into my journey. Here's what I do on a daily basis. And I'm going to give you a snapshot of it. But my routines are 20 to 30 minutes long. I do them every day. And I never miss. Every morning at sunrise. And it's important for me that this is a practice because it's about coming back to my body. It's about putting me first. Before I would take an appointment or I would go to a class or go to a meeting, and I would take the meeting first. But today I've learned that if I take the morning and give myself some space and time, then everything in my life starts to work. And we do this in community. So I'm assuming that you've been through fascial maneuvers, and we're just going to flow together. Flow with me. And what I do is I modify the fascial maneuvers every day based on the way I feel. So if you are brand new, you can flow, but even my breaths, breathe in, I vary my breaths based on the day. Here I'm in Colombia, and I feel more at nature. The birds, I listen for them. You can hear them in the background. And as I drop into my practice, all of a sudden the rest of the world disappears and fades away. I move from side to side. There isn't any rules. Elongating my body. Breathing as much as I feel necessary. Getting as many angles as I can. Alternating my breath between my nose and my mouth. Feeling the contrast of the different breaths. Make the practice yours. Whatever feels right. And you notice I'm switching my legs. What that does is it creates a different contrast between my neck, shoulders. modifying totally twisted, which is the primary movement. The entire practice is based around a fetal position, which this is. Just breathe. You don't have to follow me perfectly. Because it isn't about me, it's about you. Following the basic principles of counter rotation, pressurization, pinning and locking. And as you can, it took me years to do what I'm doing exactly now. But I think that with being able to see it, you'll be able to accomplish this much faster than I did. I tend not to move a lot of walking in between my own personal practice. And that's because I've been doing it so long. Just kind of move around a little bit. My body doesn't need the integration time, and you'll need less as you go. Taking movements like swinger, starting off, winding up like I'm hitting a golf ball. Dropping in. I tend to always use my hips in different counter-rotated positions to create a greater effect. And you'll see I'm keeping the positions and the rotation the same as I'm moving through. Taking movements that you know and piecing together in your own flow. That's why all those hundreds of movements and videos. And then going where I feel tight. When I feel tight in an area like this, I just breathe into it. What happens as I drop into my practice is the external world tends to fade away, and I became addicted to the feeling of quietness inside of me. And all of a sudden, with me being quiet, I noticed the birds that you hear, the wind, they all had a different effect on me. And so just like any other human compulsion or addiction, I'm addicted to reducing stress and increasing serotonin. Again, taking the basic movements. And you'll notice that sometimes I move my hips completely opposite, squaring them, adjusting them like a speed skater, rotating back. And by doing this, it opens up all of the different areas in the body. When I have an issue with my shoulder, I know it's always related to an issue with my hips. So getting as much rotation and movement in my hips as possible. As many different angles. Flowing with nature. But finding those areas that are really deep. Those areas that just want attention. Finding different angles like this for my hip, my kidneys. Increasing the flow from years of sitting down. And just moving slow. I tend to do the core basic moves and maneuvers and the essential ones and add to them as I go. Anti-gravity. With a twist as I drop my chin to my chest. I'm going to step back with my right foot, turn my head to the left. Breathe there. Feel the tension in the back of the skull start to go away, and the rib cage. Again, getting more angle. Stepping back with my left foot, turning my head back and up, creating a stretch. Going into a standard movement pattern, anti-gravity, often pushing my knees in, tightening them to create a different relationship between the knees and the hips. But this is one of the positions that taught me about fascial maneuvers. It's this position where I first recognized the shame in my life. Tightening up the spine in here. Rocking back and forth, side to side. Again, there isn't any rules. Moving around to what feels right for you. Whoa. It's a new meaning to the word high. I spent a lot of my life using drugs and alcohol, stimulants, coffee, some of the worst ones, alcohol and coffee, to affect the way I felt on a daily basis. But those are just trying to stimulate the same feelings that I'm getting right now by doing this in minutes. When I do pull over, it's super powerful. I'll just hold it for a bit, let the inside of the hip stretch. Coming down to my knees in a normal position. I usually give it about 3 breaths. Then I'll drop a leg back to increase the stretch and the torque. So it's like pullover and these basic movements. But giving them new life. Same rules. Tightening up my spine, my spinal pelvic lock, pulling in my sex organs as much as I can through the practice. Not consciously trying to hold them in, but every time I remember, I pull them in. Looking for new angles. You can probably hear the birds. And I think you're getting quieter with me. My practice can modify from 5 minutes to an hour, but seldom do I ever practice more than 30 minutes. I'm gonna make sure the biggest thing is to get the head and the neck in. So gross movements like the ears. Really important. And again, pulling my feet back, creating stretches, new angles for the body to figure out, like I was in nature. In nature, you move through things. And your body just adapts. So key to this ability to practice. So we've gotten shoulders, we've gotten hips really open, head a little bit. The antler twist is always a good one. But I tend to go right down to the bottom. And I rest my elbows and my back of my arms on my knees, so I get leverage. And I twist and I breathe. Again, you hold what feels right to you. Just imagine creating space in your body. Who would have imagined that such a simple practice, something that I could do by myself anywhere, anytime, would radically shift my life, my hormones, my family, my relationships, my health, my ability to move like a kid again. I want this for you. I want you to feel how good I feel. Because if you feel how good I feel, you'll do this. I always get the organs in there. But I do them quicker. Just flowing with nature. Getting the number of breaths in is important. Faster. I'll often say mantras to myself, like thank you, fear. Respecting the emotions, fear, anger, sadness, shame, guilt. They're part of me. Not trying to push them away, but listening to what they're saying to me. Because in balance, they all have a voice. And you'll notice I'm moving really fast days, but slow at the same time. Taking the rigidity out of the practice. To just be one with my body. Bringing it all together. That's my basic flow. 20 to 30 minutes a day, 7 days a week, 4.5 years later. Not only is every physical problem and disease in my body gone away, I perform at a level that I can't even begin to tell you. In connecting with nature in a way that I never had before. Pretty good for a city boy, eh, Mom?